Flynn's Arcade.
Hello, welcome to Flynn's Arcade. This is the third and final part of my mini-series, The Ventureverse Timeline Rebuilt, Brock's Memory Hole and the Floating Years, where I will describe the important events in the Ventureverse from 1987 to 2010. Let's go. The Sovereign, disguised as the Sphinx commander, contacted the OSI to pretend that the original Sphinx, a criminal organisation, not the later version with Shawleave and Hunter.
1. Rescue the little guy. 2. Terminate Monstroso, the investors, and everything that gets in your way.
You just reminded me why I joined Sphinx.
Sphinx!
Was responsible for movie night. This kicked off the Pyramids Wars of 1987, which ultimately wiped out Sphinx and paved the way for the Guild to return to their position as a top organisation of organised villainy. Brock deserves a mention here. In one version of events, he lost his scholarship to State University and went crazy after standing on a dice, causing him to beat up T.S. Venture and his friends. He was then recruited to join the army to fight in the Pyramids Wars.
Sorry, man, I don't know what came over me. Anyway, they cut my scholarship, so I'm out of here. Gonna join the army.
This is confusing because he has already been working for the OSI for at least a year, possibly two, having already encountered Molotov in Paris and at the Goodwill Games. This could be a writing error, or it could be that Brock wasn't really a student. The OSI had a habit of sending moles to universities to spy on people. It happened to Billy, so why not Brock? I also think Brock is an unreliable narrator. He worked for the OSI, who frequently used memory wiping technology. I also think that this isn't really that deep, and I only noticed the discrepancies around Brock when making this video, so they don't really interfere with the plot, so who cares really? T.S. Venture, having learned of his father's passing from his roommate Brock Samson, dropped out of State University and moved back to the Venture compound in Colorado Springs and took control of Venture Industries. There, the Monarch menaced Dr. Venture for the first time. But was quickly fended off by bodyguard Myra Brandish, with Helper assisting.
Gaze upon the face of doom and cower before me! For I am... Come on! Ow! 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 I would have taken him down then if Venture hadn't hired a private army of ex-Navy SEAL cyborg ninja witches to protect him.
Chester Ong, now known as Wise Well, joined the Guild of Calamitous Intent.
Chester Ong. In the 80s, he worked with his brother Doug trying to find a cure for cancer in cuttlefish DNA. You know the drill. Experiments on himself, gets all freaky looking, goes into villainy. He goes by Wide Whale these days.
OSI agent Courtney Robert Hain was injected with a super soldier serum known as Soldier X in an experiment conducted by the speculative Human Engineering Division of the OSI, turning him into Sergeant Hatred.
Ma Venture didn't raise no fools.
We don't have a mom, Hank.
Possible birth of Hank and Dean. Their ages were never explicitly stated, but they appear to be about 16 in 2003. Hank and Dean's ages were confusing because their cloning and resurrection process meant they lost a few years, and because of their bizarre upbringing, they missed out on a number of developmental milestones, which added to the ambiguity, but 1988 made sense. Billy Quizboy appeared on Quiz Boys, where he met Pete White. They participated in the Underground Quiz League.
Billy Whalen!
What is the Magna Carta?
Correct!
Which went well, but when Dr. Venture turned them down when they asked him for work.
What's going on, Rust?
What the hell are you doing here?
All staffed up. Try back in a few months. Never much good at science anyway. Who does he think he is?
they entered an illegal dogfight where Billy lost his hand. Billy was later recruited by the OSI.
About to engage the nozzle. Please do not move while the nozzle is engaging. Moving will disrupt calibration of the nozzle.
To spy on Professor Phantomer, aka Phantom Limb. Billy lost an eye and Phantom Limb developed his superpowers. Sheila was also shown to be one of Professor Phantomer's students.
Sorry, Sheila, but if I extend the deadline for one student, I'd have to extend it for all of them.
Well, thank you anyway, Professor Phantomos.
Sergeant Haynes, aka Sergeant Hatred, had infiltrated the OSI as a guild mole.
Colonel Gathers has been transferred to Guam effective 0700 this morning. Your windmill chasing days are over, Sancho Panza. You got a new assignment.
And scuppered Brock and Hunter's attempts to investigate the guild. Brock was demoted to work at the Venture compound as Dr. Venture's new bodyguard. He was asked to guard a particular plot of ground at the back of the compound.
Here, slide to this spot in your compound and the final clue.
What came to be known as Brock's herb garden contained a clue about the location for the near-mythical orb.
The awesome power of the orb!
On his first day at the compound, Dr. Venture shows Brock his cloning tanks and flushed D19. Dr. Venture returned to the island of Spanakos as an adult to celebrate the Spanakopita festival.
After 20 years, we forget about Spanakopita, forget about Rusty. Then one day he just show up, and he come back every year since.
Which he made an annual tradition for the next 2 decades. Sheila began smoking cigarettes.
What? Why are you smoking?
Maybe.
What? When did you start smoking?
1989-ish.
She began dating Professor Phantomer, who is now going by Phantom Limb.
Tonight, you will learn all my secrets.
Oh, for God's sakes, the French was impressive, but how about at least taking a girl out for dinner?
This was once my curse, but now it is my blessing.
Behold! And she joined the guild as Lady Au Pair. The Berlin Wall came down.
That's what they said about the Bilderberg group, son. And then whammo! Berlin Wall comes tumbling down.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, it will, kiddo. It was decided at the last meeting.
As decided by the Bilderberg group in their earlier meeting. Wonder Boy 3, the second sidekick to Captain Sunshine, was born.
Hey.
Hey.
Your mom make you come to this loser con too?
I don't have a mommy.
So what? I don't have a dad.
Possible birth of Dermott Fictal. Whilst Dermott appeared to be slightly older than Hank and Dean, I'm guessing that he's actually a couple of years younger. It's just that Hank and Dean have lost a couple of years due to the cloning process. Pete White enjoyed a drunken, shirtless spring break in Cancun.
Slide! That's the shirtless drunk albino, I think.
Spring break 1994.
Slide!
When the Monarch and his henchmen used enhanced interrogation techniques to question a kidnapped helper.
Poor sweet thing. Did the bad men hurt you? Monarch, this goes against the Guild Sentience Conference of 1998.
Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch informed them that their robot torturing behaviour went against the Guild Sentience Conference of 1998. A Guild Colossurveillance tracking chip was implanted inside Novia, possibly by her nemesis, Lady Au Pair. Dermott sneaked into the cinema to see Fight Club after pretending to his mum/grandma that he was going to see Elmo in Grouchland. The pirate captain watched Degrassi.
Haven't seen her since then.
I heard she was with some go-nowhere mechanic named Jay.
Sad. Does she know how you feel?
No, she doesn't, because that's all from a TV show. Captain Cuckoo here named his boat after Manny Santos on Degrassi.
It has a huge impact on him, and he would later name his boat after one of the characters.
Doc.
The pilot episode, The Terrible Secrets of Turtle Bay, was first broadcast on February the 16th, 2003. Because there was nothing on the show to indicate that it was set in the past or in the future, I'm using 2003 as a set point when plotting dates on the timeline. The Monarch sent a package to the Venture compound containing a snake and a menacing note. Dr. Venture only got round to opening the note years later, and the snake was long dead. Monstroso began serving as a treasurer for the Brotherhood of Menace. Dr. Venture declared that he was 43 years old.
Grandpa! How dare they? I'm only 43.
Which makes sense, because if he was born in 1960 or 1961, that's how old he'd be. Brock was briefly reunited with Molotov.
How long has it been, Samson?
3 years, 48 days.
Dr. Venture attempted to recover the X9 from the Sargasso, but wound up rescuing pirates instead.
I'm really sorry about this whole mess, and, you know, the whole pirate thing is behind me now, and plus you kind of killed Steve and burnt my ship, so if you could give us a lift out of here, I figured we'd just call it squaresies.
All right.
Go, Team Venture!
The Orpheus family moves into the Venture compound.
Dad, where's the blow dryer?
Gentlemen, this is my daughter. Daddy has a most important guest.
And Dr. Orpheus predicted that the Action Man would die of a stroke in 2 years and 14 days.
These ain't snakes either. Put 'em up.
2 years, 17 days. From a stroke.
I will be discussing this prediction in this video. Hank was accidentally infected with the Goliath serum.
If you suspect unintentional exposure, watch for the early warning signs. Does the patient look flushed? Does the patient have an abnormally large appetite?
Sally Impossible became pregnant with Rocket.
That's odd. Dr. Venture's pregnant?
The Ventures held a yard sale.
When these riots are over, we are going to rebuild! As God is my witness, I will not let my people down!
Dr. Venture gave birth to JJ.
I'm your brother, Rusty. Your twin brother.
That's impossible, I don't have
You sucker punched me in the womb. I've been inside you all your life.
Sheila and the Monarch split up.
I am leaving. If you can't calm down, I'm leaving.
You can't leave, I'm throwing you out! Get out of my cocoon, you whore!
With the Monarch being sent to prison.
You're here because you done f***ed up too many times. You think you're hot in a champagne glass, but you're really cold diarrhea in a Dixie cup.
And Hank and Dean were met with a fatal accident caused by 21 and 24. An apparently grief-stricken Dr. Venture went around the world on a bender, only to be dragged back by Brock to deal with the resurrection of his sons. Whilst he was away, JJ acquired 2 doctorates, setting him up for a successful career in super science. Dr. Venture, JJ, Professor Impossible plus several others met at One Impossible Plaza in New York at midnight on Dr. Venture's 44th year. They assembled components for a device that opens up a portal which allowed an alien to visit Earth and kill the Grand Galactic Inquisitor before he could condemn the planet to destruction. Here, JJ met Sally Impossible, and the two soon began dating. Criminal died, saving his henchman Herman before being killed by Captain Sunshine. Monstroso completed his term as the treasurer for the Brotherhood of Menace. Gargantua 1 crash-landed in the desert, and Buzz Manstrong was wrongly declared a hero due to him taking out a cabal of extremists by accident. Mara kidnapped Hank and Dean and said they were actually 19.
He never once told you about me, has he? Not in all your 19 years!
We're 16.
You see?
Which messes up my theory that they were born in 1988. However, Mara is unhinged, so I'm going to just write her off as an unreliable witness. Dr. Henry Killinger reunited Sheila and the Monarch, and they married. Dr. Venture was their best man.
I feel so dirty when they start talking cute.
Get used to it.
I want to tell her that I love her, but the point is probably moot.
Are you reciting Jesse's girl?
Sorry.
Dearly beloved.
Dr. Venture reopened the Eden whilst in the company of several young visitors to his day camp.
Why is it so dirty?
My father died before he taught me to care. All right, Billy. Want to give me a hand with this door?
A kid got disemboweled by a gorilla and was hastily resurrected by Dr. Venture.
Got your sweet boy here.
You sure he's okay? He's limp. And did you...
We shaped his head for the sack race. Wind resistance. Yeah, first place. Then in boy adventurer tradition, we poured victory plasma over him. Good fun. He'll be fine.
In the same episode, Billy declared himself to be 35, and Dermott showed up believing himself to be Brock's long-lost son.
Yeah, that's right. Better walk away. I'm not going anywhere. What are you doing?
Dr. Venture had a fling with Dr. Tara Quinn, who may or may not have been his half-sister.
Well, think I just found my cure for impotence after all.
Dr. Venture discovered the orphans, who Jonas abandoned in the basement in 1978.
What the...
They've been watching a lot of VH1 Classic, and this has influenced their behaviour and dress sense. During the events of Handsome Ransom, Billy declared himself to be 37. Dean Venture published the Boom Boom Goes to Washington edition of the Venture Home News on Monday, May the 23rd, 2008. This episode was broadcast a few months after this date, and this was the last time that the events depicted coincided neatly with the real world. And here, the floating timeline I mentioned earlier really kicks in. The Action Man suffered a stroke in arrears in science, fulfilling Orpheus's prediction.
Rodney? Toast! Rodney, what's wrong with you?
Oh my God, you having a heart attack?
It's true.
Oh my God, we have to get him to the hospital right now.
However, 2 years and 14 days seems really off, because not only was Dean's newspaper published at least 2 years after this date, a lot of events have happened since then. Since 2008, Brock left to join Team Sphinx, then JJ built Gargantua 2, the Ventures ran the Palemon project and moved to New York, plus Hank and Dean have visibly aged. But luckily, in the DVD commentary, Jackson explains that it was quite reasonable that, having been won by Orpheus, the Action Man changed his ways and started living more healthily, so he managed to stave off the stroke by the necessary 3 or 4 years to make everything stack up. He also got with Rose during this period, and she's a clean-living person, so I could easily imagine her further assisting him in adopting a healthy lifestyle. The Treaty of Tolerance Summit 2 took place in what remains of the Venture compound.
I get it. I suddenly get it. You're children. That's why my dad put you in the pool and made you duke it out. Newsflash, my dad was a shitty parent.
Based on everything I know, the events of Radiant is the Blood of the Baboon Heart took place in 2009 or early 2010 at the latest. The movie picks up the events immediately from the time Hank left the hospital, and the plot played out during the course of a few days. So, as far as this timeline is concerned, the events end in 2010. Because the show reflected the time it was written in and broadcast as opposed to when it was set, there are tons of anachronisms, so many that I couldn't go into them all now. So I'm just going to mention a couple of them here. Skins is another of my favourite TV shows, so it was a big deal for me when Ben's helper recommended the show to Dean.
And we just got Netflix, so I have Skins, that old show where British kids have sex and take drugs.
But Skins only came to Netflix in 2013, so if this was the real world, Ben's helper wouldn't have seen Skins on Netflix. However, who cares? Skins is awesome, so I'm really happy to see it being recommended to a wider audience. A lunar eclipse occurred on September 28, 2015. It was the backdrop to Sheila's attempt to assassinate Dr. Venture. This was one of the most powerful scenes in the whole show, so I'm so glad they included it. This section of the miniseries was the most difficult one to put together. Not being able to figure out Hank and Dean's birth year made it very confusing, but I think I will stick with 1988. But please let me know if you have any better ideas. Also, do you think Dermott is actually younger than them? I worked the timeline out using specific dates mentioned in the show, and I added dates when I believed that important life events for the characters occurred. And because some of the events were based on real-life historical events, I included those too. My references are spending the last 19 years cultivating an obsession. The Ventureverse wiki, Ken Plume's art book, the Nerdist's amazing video, links in the description.
It's 10 in the morning.
And my own back catalogue on Flynn's Arcade. So thanks to everyone who's made it this far. Let me know what you think. What do you think Brock was doing at State University? Are you as happy as I am with the anachronistic pop culture references? If you don't know what to write, please drop an ignore me or a Sphinx or a spanakopter, because comments really help with the algorithm. If you've enjoyed this video, please drop me a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've made a lot of videos about Adult Swim shows which you might enjoy. Hello to any newcomers and welcome back to all my subscribers. Thank you so much to my channel members. You guys are awesome, and I'm going to give you a shout out in this video's end screen, so please stick around for that. And check out my members monthly update video. I have 2 levels of membership, the Guilds of Calamitous Intent and the Peril Partnership, so please consider signing up for membership if you can, because it really helps the channel. Ventureverse fans have always been a seriously creative bunch, but recently I have become very impressed with the work of Will C-Slick. Will's cosplay is next level, and here is a photo of him dressed as Manic 8-Ball and Dr. Venture with a scale replica of Helper. He has even recently managed to do an effective cosplay of Hatebit. I wanted to round off my mini-series on a positive note, and I thought a high quality piece of fan art was a great way to do it. If you are a superfan, or you know a superfan and fancy being in the spotlight, get in touch on my socials, and there is also a link to Will's Instagram there too. Add me on Blue Sky, add me on Instagram, the link is in my bio. So that's all from me. I upload videos every weekend, so unless anything comes up before then, I'll see you next time.